Welcome to the first Tony's Teaching Tips video. Today's topic is backward design. I'm Tony Sindelar, a higher education instructional designer with many years of experience partnering with faculty and subject matter experts to create and improve teaching and learning. I chose backward design as my first video for Tony's Teaching Tip because to me, instructional design is backward design. This is a foundational concept for thinking about teaching or training or coaching, and whether you're an instructional designer or an educator or aspire to be one of those, the level to which you understand and practice backward design will impact the success of your teaching plans. So what is backwards design, Tony? Backward design comes from Wiggins and McTeague classic text Understanding by Design. They put forward a design model for instruction that starts with the end goal in mind and works backward from it, hence the term backward design. So in their three-step model, step one, identify desired results. You start with a goal, where do your learners need to be, and work backward from that. Step two, determine acceptable evidence. You plan how you'll know for your goal for your learners has been met. Maybe they need to write a paper, pass an exam, complete a project, but what will it look like for them to generate the evidence that they've learned what you want them to learn? And finally, step three, plan learning experiences and instruction. Think of your teaching as preparing your learners for meeting your goal. So planning your instruction and your content is last, after you've established your goal and criteria for success. If you're truly implementing backward design, you are likely using some manner of worksheet or grid to map out these aspects of your course, the desired results, the acceptable evidence, and then what your instructions are that are going to get them there. I say course here is a catch-all for any learning experience. Backward design can be applied to the curriculum, the course, the unit, or even a single class session, depending on what level you're working at in your teaching and learning. Okay, starting at the end in mind, isn't that obvious? Maybe it's obvious, but in my many years of working with faculty, I think a lot of people stumble on this. I would suggest that all too often we fall into the trap of thinking of our teaching as transmitting knowledge, as information delivery. It's hard. When you're an expert, you know a lot, and you'd love for your learners to know what you know. But teaching and learning is more than just transmitting information from one brain to another. The way I think about it, teaching and learning are transformative processes. We want our learners to be different based on their experiences with us and with each other. It's not enough for students to just know stuff. They need to be different people, at least incrementally. You want your students to approach the world or maybe a specific profession differently based on their experience in your course that they wouldn't be able to do without your course. Maybe you're training students for a specific task that they need to be able to do in a specific profession, or maybe you just want them to go out into the world seeing things differently than they would if they hadn't had your course. The key here is change. Your learners are going to be different based on the experience in the course, and so you want to think about your goals for your learners, not as just knowledge I want them to have, but how they're going to go about the world differently. Are they going to see problems that they wouldn't have seen before? Are they going to solve those problems? Are they going to apply knowledge in new ways? What will they be able to do, or what will they be able to do differently because of your course that they couldn't do before? That's your goal. It's not just to know stuff. It's to be a different person. Is backward design the only model for instructional design? No, there's lots of models. ADDIE is a particularly popular one, and you'll see lots of other names for different design processes in instructional design, specific to online course design, and in other industries related to instructional design. Are there problems with backward design? No model's perfect, and some people find backward design and fitting their teaching into a grid artificial and constricting in the way they think. My belief is that teaching lives at the intersection of planning and improvisation, and some people have a lot more comfort with one than the other. Whatever's your area of comfort, it's important to build up strength in both, and backward design is a way to be more intentional about your planning. I think for a lot of people, starting with a process that can be a little bit rigid, learning that process, mastering that process, and then being able to do things innately is a great place to start. But it's one of those places where you kind of have to learn the rules before you can break the rules. Closing thoughts. Remember, whatever model you adopt or process you follow, students are unlikely to ever look back at your course and think, that course used backward design. That's why it was so great. But they are less likely to get confused and lost and be bewildered as to why your assessments are what they are if you have a clear plan for your teaching, if you're intentional about what you're trying to accomplish and how you're going to measure that that's accomplished, and then communicate that consistently to students. The key here is intentionality and having a plan, and to have a plan, you have to have a goal. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. If you've got questions or ideas, drop them in the chat. And a special thank you to my supporters on Patreon, whose contributions help me carve out the time to make these videos. Bye for now.